There you go.
She's ready. I'm calling to order the April 2nd Citizen Involvement Committee. And
April 1st.
April 1st, two,
Is that
one,
Joe?
foolish, yeah, third.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay, calling
It
roll.
is
Monday.
Yes, it is. So, Kanema,
We're here.
Two Rivers, Gaffney Lane, Park Place,
Here.
Hill and Dale, Tower Vista,
Here.
McLaughlin,
Here.
Rivercrest, Caulfield,
Here.
Barkley Hills.
Present.
Thank you.
And we have a presentation, but no presenter.
That is correct. We did send out reminders for tonight, but we do not have our presenter here this evening.
I couldn't figure out what he was going to be talking about, but. Okay, so we're up to public comment.
We do have one public comment. Oh, Sal.
Hello, my name is Bob LaSalle. I live in Park Place. I hadn't planned to speak tonight, but since Laura is here, I decided I would. A few years ago, there was a thing put together called the Park Place Concept Plan. And that was passed in 2008. And then last year, or the year before, there was a large annexation area within the Park Place area. And it went through the planning commission and all their rules and regulations and comments and testimony and so on, and it passed. And then it went on to the city commission. And then suddenly, which didn't go before the planning commission, some developers decided that they wanted to eliminate a large chapter of the Park Place concept plan and also the South End concept plan, which had been approved 2 or 3 years ago. Well, this kind of upset a lot of the neighbors in the Park Place area for various and sundry reasons, mainly because all the work that had been put into putting that concept plan together, and it was going to be kind of a unique area to live in with special architectural standards which the developers did not want to follow. And so as time went on, it was put on the agenda for the city commission. And I don't know how this happened, but it was scheduled for April 17th. And then on April 3rd agenda, there's a letter in the agenda as an attachment from Laura to the city commission recommending that that elimination of that chapter not be approved, which I think is a strong indication of the public now being listened to. You know, we often hear the thing, well, I'm never listened to. Well, I think that that Laura and the planning department have proven to us that that's a big step toward eliminating that kind of a feeling. And I just wanted to express my thanks to her publicly for doing that, making that letter forward and that recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Okay, we're up to the staff liaison update.
All right. Included in your packet is all of the outstanding information from the last CIC meeting. There was nothing else that to add to that. Who's that? in case you have any questions on the minutes.
What's that?
In case you have any questions on the minutes or later on.
Okay, so the January 7th minutes.
Yes. Included in the packet are the minutes from January 7th. We have a big bulk of minutes that are about to come before you, but rather than overwhelm you with lots of minutes in one meeting, you'll see them metered throughout the year or the next 6 months or so. So the first one we have is just the January hearing or meeting for your review and approval.
Come on, computer. So does anybody have any comments, questions, concerns on the January 7th meeting? Did you do that?
I did. Would you like me to call for a motion? Or,
So is anybody,
I'll move that we accept the minutes.
okay.
okay, moved by John, any second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Dennis?
And just
Take
a
the vote.
head nod or,
Yeah,
it's fine.
All in agreement?
in agreement? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries?
Alright.
Approved the minutes? Of course, if we only approve one set of minutes per, we'll never catch up,
Doing this.
because we'll always
Trying to wake you up.
stay the same number of,
It's true, we'll do a good balance for you then.
the CIC roles and responsibilities. So has everybody had a chance to review the proposed roles? And any questions or concerns? Dennis had one.
I did.
We'll see if we can actually get people to go to other meetings.
Is
I have a comment.
this an update or just a review?
A comment?
Can I make a comment?
Sure.
It's up to you.
Well, you can come right up and
Make a comment.
make another comment.
The only thing I wanted to say is that the grievance committee information is still in
Yeah.
all that information, and it should not be anymore.
Okay. All right. So the purpose of this agenda item, it was from Chair Wilhite wanted to talk about what the roles are for each of the CIC members and the responsibilities for being on the shared level of expectations for what it means to be on CIC. So just to review this, it talks about the purpose of the CIC, and that's pulled from the code itself where it's codified. And then the responsibilities of both the primary and the alternate representatives. Really, we're talking about attending meetings and sharing information, both two-way. We want to make sure that the CIC is really supported both directions in giving information to the city and then also dispensing information as well. And then there's a little bit more details on the length of our appointments and where we meet and how often. And then at the bottom, there's a summary of time commitments that recognize both attendance at your own neighborhood association meetings as well as others throughout the year.
So
Does it look good?
I think it looks great.
All right.
It kind of puts everything down.
Perfect. Do you guys want to vote on this or just do a head nod that it looks correct? How would you like to
Anybody
handle
have
that?
any questions or comments, concerns?
I think it's good. It spells it out a little, put some detail to it.
We just have to make sure that everybody's willing to commit the time to do the other things other than attend meetings.
Well, I think that's been the challenge, right? I mean, even some of your work groups of trying to work on summer events or summer things, I mean, it requires a time commitment and somebody to stand up and participate. So this is kind of codifying that, but.
The only concern I had to offer up, something, when I emailed Amy was the necessity to encourage greater participation, having more of a pool to pull from. And all of this will work fine if we have sufficient numbers of members from the neighborhoods to take part in some of the, committees and volunteer work that's required, as opposed to just 6 people who are here. And I think, so the effort, and I think this is good. It spells it out, and I think that's the purpose. And I think having this knowledge is good for the neighborhoods to use and give it back to the people who would be chosen to represent the neighborhood. And what's nice is, so in my own little history, I never have seen anything like this that spells out this kind of like detail, and I think it's good. And I think this is a positive step forward in encouraging people to understand what it is that they're embarking on or going to be committed to doing. So I think that's good. But I don't know if it's, well, I guess it's good. It's just good. It's a good form, but I think we must underline the fact that we have to do better to encourage more people to participate, get greater numbers here, and then we have more of a pool to draw from. That was the only thing I had.
And I'm new here, and so it tells me what I'm responsible for. And I was voted in and just like come to a meeting once a week and tell people what's happening, and there's a little more to it than just
Right.
showing up once in a while, and that's good to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met with Amy, a few weeks ago now, and that was one of the things we talked about, was like, we have new people that are coming on board, and even folks that have been around a while, and there was nothing ever on paper that
Never.
said, this is the expectation, or even when you're trying to recruit people, it's like, we really need you to attend, and it's only a successful work group if we have people that are attending, and if you never know what you're committing to, one, it's hard to get people to volunteer to something that they have no idea what they're really signing up for. Most
Correct.
people are going to be pretty hesitant. So this hopefully will give us something to hand out and also, like you said, let us know. I found it interesting that one of the items, if you can scroll back up, was that to attend other neighborhood meetings. I thought that was an interesting comment, and I assume the benefit is that it helps you all learn from other tactics, what other neighborhoods are doing. And I don't know if you guys are actively looking at your calendar year and saying, you know what, I want to attend, Rivercrest this month, and I'm going to attend, for the spring, and in the fall, I'm going to attend something, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a few years back, we did a sign-up sheet that we sent around so that everyone didn't go to the same meeting for another neighborhood association. It was sort of spread around.
We packed the house at some of them.
Yeah. Right. I guess my point is a lot of times is what happens is And I do it too. I mean, I participate in tons of meetings at work, and so I know how it is. It's kind of like if we don't put action, you know, and commitment to some of these things, like the sign-in sheet, then it makes it really hard for, really easy for a year from now. We'll redo the same thing and say, yep, we should attend. And, you know, if we don't enter it on our calendar, we don't commit to actually, you know, where is it that we're going to participate and make that action connection. It's easy because we're all busy. So I don't know, I just encourage you to consider ways to be proactive and making sure that this group is, you know, doing
I have a
everything.
question. What are some of the community events that we should be representing the CIC at?
So those are to be decided. Typically, we do the night out and have a booth there. Sometimes we will do it at the farmer's market,
Done the safety fair.
safety fair, yeah. Just if there's an event, so whatever the Oregon City downtown events. And if we can get somebody that is willing to volunteer for some of these, that would be impressive. But just about any of the events that occur in the city would be great to have a presence from the CIC. Let people know we're here. Let people know about their neighborhoods, which is usually what it's more geared toward.
So are there materials or visuals stored somewhere to do this?
There are materials somewhere.
We have some materials at our
Okay.
office that we provide, but it's also my understanding that there's a subcommittee working on your static display that will help support this as well. But we do that fold-out sheet with each of the neighborhood associations, a map of where they're located and their meeting dates as well.
Which is what you get if you ever go to the webpage.
And then we have a big map where people mark where they're from or where their house is, so. It's a little bit of a competition some years to see which neighborhood can draw the most.
I might add with compliments to Rachel. I believe our last meeting, you did a thing that I hadn't seen done in the few years that I've been a part of this. And that is that you outlined what was coming up in a sort of a bulletin board fashion. And I thought that was very good and very positive. And so often, you know, we're always encouraging neighbors, members to go to the website. And then, you know, you get lost in the city website. And unless you're looking for a particular reason, a report or some code or something. So any method to announce events pertinent to the city or things coming up within a sort of a quarter would be good. And I thought that was excellent. If that's your step forward of bringing that to the CIC each time we meet to, you know, just run that down. I think it's really good. I can mark it and I can bring that back to my neighborhood. And I think we can, you know, when we have a steering committee meeting, we can mention that these are things. And so often we are the only people that know the urgency of like the night out or some kind of farmer's market event or somebody that's come here and spoke for some kind of event. And I thought that was a good thing that you did, and I think we should encourage that. And it's an excellent thing. It gets broadcast, and we have it as a note, and we can bring it back to our neighborhoods. So thank you.
Well, thank you for the feedback, because I know I've asked for feedback, and so definitely continue to tell me how I can help. You know, I want to be of assistance to you, and I think all of us representing the city want to do that. So I'm all ears and open to suggestions. I know Christina sent out an email of like, that listed like all of the upcoming events that I had on my list. So did you all receive the email from Christina today? She sent it out today. They kind of listed upcoming events. If you're not sure, then I will rattle them off. I just didn't want to repeat when I get to my time. I just didn't want to repeat and you all go, I got that email, and so. So, okay.
All right.
So what are we doing?
So this is a draft document. And if there's nobody that wants to make any changes, have any concerns on what's here, I would call for somebody to,
I move that we accept the CIC report on responsibilities of the members.
With the amendment of the grievance? Remove any references to
grievance thing on
grievance?
here?
Where's the line at in there? I know the grievance was in the, I think it's still in like
I saw
charter
it
or
in
bylaws.
something recently.
Yeah,
I don't see it here.
It's not in this.
We'll review it to make sure it doesn't have one. How about that?
and that was on the webpage still, I think.
Oh, webpage, okay.
This copy.
I didn't see it on that, but
Okay.
I do know there is still a line item, I think, in either the bylaws or charter or one of those documents, like where when the city commission, it was before I came on board, but the city commission, it came before the commission to remove that chapter of the code of the grievance committee, and at the very start of that document, there's an overview of like 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D, and one of those line items specifically still says the grievance committee piece in there.
The purpose statement.
Yeah, maybe,
Okay.
yeah. I think it just got missed when we were doing when the commission was doing the edits to that.
We can clean that up.
So John has moved.
I'll
and
second.
Vern has seconded. So do we want to just vote by acclamation again?
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? So now this can be the official instead of a draft.
Great, we will attach it to the website.
Super. Up to round table. We're gonna beat her best time.
I know. Incredible.
So,
Where are you starting?
start at Vern.
I happened across a timely little YouTube video about the city of Seattle and its homelessness and its crime rates and drug use. And the video is, anybody can go Google it. Seattle is Dying by KOMO TV station in Seattle put it out and did quite a bit of research on the whole thing. And it started out with the same thing we have here in Oregon and we have in Portland and we have all over the United States is the homeless camps and the cleaning up of it. And, you know, it wasn't getting better by itself or weren't doing enough to improve the whole situation. And then they expanded that a little bit to crime. You know, it appeared that Seattle was looking the other way on a lot of these, helping the homeless and the crime that it brings and the drugs and all of that, that nobody was coming to a solution. They were just kind of looking the other way when it all happened. And it got it's a pretty interesting 1 hour video. You won't fall asleep during the video if you look at it from end to end. And at least the Seattle portion was really down and gory, and it was not good. But then they switched to what have other cities and states done about this homelessness. And they picked a few out that had made some significant improvement on programs. And the one that really stood out was New Hampshire. The state of New Hampshire has a totally different look at homelessness and petty crimes and all of that. Instead of looking the other way when it happens, somebody goes out to them with an outreach program to see if they can help them early on in the stage that they happen to be in. And it's a statewide program, and they reported pretty significant statistics on the benefits of it to the state. You know, if you don't do that outreach, then you really never can capture the total amount of money the city or the state is paying to work with this homeless crime or drugs. It's just a cost that keeps increasing. And so it was really enlightening that there are some states and there are other cities, and they talk about each of them in the 1 hour video, that says there are things. Now, I'm not here to say everything in that video is absolutely true. You got to look at it and make up your own mind and make up your mind as to what you believe and what you don't believe. But it does give you some insight into what's going on. And I would highly recommend, I was talking to a neighbor and he asked me if I'd seen it. And I saw a little clip in the Oregonian, something about Seattle homelessness, but that didn't register very much. But when he lobbied me a little bit to go get on Google and internet, Seattle is Dying by KMO TV, I went and looked, and it is, may not be the best enlightenment, but at least, you know, it's not all going downhill all over. So the only thing I can say is, you don't need to look at it and give a report back at the next CIC. This is just person to person. If you look at it, make your opinion and move forward as a enlightened resident. I thought it was great.
Thank you. Linda?
We had a steering committee meeting, and one of the things that came out of that was the city wanting every neighborhood to have their own booth at the National Night Out. And we were left with some questions as to what that involved, what kind of booth. We were kind of questioning that because we've never done one before. Kenema has never had their own booth. Is wondering if there's something coming down or more information about that, or anything? Okay, that was a question we had. Maybe someone can get us more information about that?
I'll add it to the list of follow-up.
Okay, because we can get the booth, yeah, and then what? I don't know. Because we don't have anything that we sell. McLaughlin has snow cones or something, and we didn't know if that was something we were supposed to be doing, or had no idea. More information would be great.
Are you saying that your steering committee wanted to have a booth, or someone, or it was
We were
applied?
discussing at the steering committee to bring to our meeting in April for our members what we were going to do. And we were puzzled by this. So it's hard to explain something when you don't really understand what it is. We can get a tent, that's not a problem, we can get people to be there, but what are we supposed to be doing with this? I mean, we're Kenema, going to put our bars out there, or I don't know, what are we advertising? I mean, we just didn't know what was expected, if we were supposed to be selling something, we were just
We went through the same thing, and we didn't come up with a solution either.
Yeah.
Other than do you pick a theme? Can you pick any theme? Let's say you get a gathering like that at the end of the Oregon Trail, and there's bound to be kids there. Do you pick something and focus on the kids just to give them entertainment with trinkets or little games or whatever? Or do you go the other direction and hit the mid-level or the adults or the representation of your neighborhood? And if you do go the other way, we didn't have an idea how do we
didn't
pull that off for a half-hour entertainment or an hour entertainment or questions and answers or anything like that?
And what could we be passing out? Information about Kanema, or, because we're small, we've got like 200 homes, so we're a small little community here, which is.
Yeah, it came as a little bit of a surprise to us. And
Yeah. What
I'm glad you
our
brought it up.
expectations, we didn't know. Okay. God, we weren't the only ones.
I guess I can dovetail, since my
Yeah.
colleague is from Kanema. We advanced the idea of like an opportunity to raise some money, sell a t-shirt, have a raffle. We were thinking if we're gonna be there, like Vernon's suggesting, make it sort of like purposeful. And maybe we could have I guess we were talking about a raffle of some kind and generating some funds for our neighborhood, thinking that would be a turnout, and plus people would be there in the first part, and thought that would be a way to galvanize our group. But so the other idea too, since I'm talking, is the fact that I thought it might be advantageous if all the neighborhoods were there. If we had just one big Oregon City neighborhood and got the commitment of all the neighborhoods to sort of share it. I mean, I'd like to know some of the other neighborhoods and what they're going through. And often, you do bump into them. If there's an issue that's land use, it's always like a provocative way to bring people in. But I mean, on the other hand, there's a lot of other things that I think we could do as a cooperative body of neighborhoods to, generate concern and share in the process of what we're trying to do here with the city. And so maybe if that idea that was born of a meeting last, of having all the neighborhoods represented in a booth, I mean, that's going to take some organization. I mean, it's just, I can't even think of some of the neighborhoods that have yet to know about that idea. And I don't know if we're enough of a body to get that information back to the neighborhoods to see if in fact they want to participate with a booth. And then who provides the booth? Do the neighborhoods buy a booth? Do they rent a booth, or do they share one big booth? I don't know. So there's issues afoot that maybe might be a way to bring a lot of us together who haven't met before. Just a thought.
So you're saying maybe have a CIC just meet and just about booths and what we're going to be doing?
Yeah, we could have a little name tag and say we're from Kanema, we're from Park Place, we're from wherever, and introduce ourselves. I mean, some of us know some of the people in the other neighborhoods, and a lot of us don't. And we're all new, relatively, to this group, and some of the neighborhoods are not really aware of some of the same concerns that they're experiencing, and the prospect of finding their way in to participating within the city. Just a thought.
Sorry?
We ran a little problem about a week ago. We meet at the bus barn there at the Oregon City High School. Our meeting was supposed to be last week, and there's spring break, so we couldn't get in the building. So we didn't have our meeting, so that was kind of, oops. So we went through that one. And I know last time we talked about, when Christina was there, we talked about the plan on Beaver Creek, concept plan, all that stuff. And the conversation about parking downtown, some things going on. And somebody suggested, just something to think about, running a shuttle from up on the hill down to downtown, maybe, to get people downtown without parking, spend time downtown and shuttle back up to try to eliminate some of the parking as we're trying to grow and get people going downtown. Especially with the waterfall opening up, stuff like that, just a faster way to get people up and down without having that massive traffic jam. That just something came up that was kind of interesting. That's about it.
Okay, well, we had our meeting last month and our police liaison person suggested that we might try to get a flashing crosswalk light at Barkley Hills because it's so dangerous. He said he was doing nights, and if it's dark, you can't see people trying to cross. And if it's raining, you're gonna kill them. So everybody decided to work on that, and I think that we might probably channel that for our booth, because I think it's really important to a lot of people. I know it is to me. I live right there. But it is a very dangerous area. Very dangerous. It needs flashing lights. So that was most of our meeting.
Okay. Park Place had a steering committee meeting and then a follow-up, and it was all about the concept plan and the code changes and putting out a letter supporting the existing and not having the changes made to the code. So that was our meeting then. We've got a meeting coming up April 15th. It's a steering committee meeting. And one other meeting that on April 24th, Two Rivers is having a meeting, and their meeting will be at 7 p.m. at the community center in the apartment complex, rather than their normal location down at River Shore. The only other event that I'm really up on is used to be the city cleanup, and now it's an enhancement day at the end of the Oregon Trail. So that's on the 6th of April, at 9 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one.
It popped right up. Okay. Our neighborhood will meet on the 20th of April. That's all. Pass.
Okay. Well, we had an interesting meeting last month. We had Kelly Reed come talk to us about the HRB policy updates, and she had a way for us to give input on that. And then tomorrow night, is it here? Mm-hmm. There's a open house. Voila. Regarding the same thing, and I will be there, I hope. So, Sharon Salvaggio came and talked to us about the pesticide-free neighborhood. And we set our goals for the year. And the big news, we had a pie auction on Pie Day. And we dressed like pirates, of course. We made $1,064.
Wow.
There were about 32 pies. Most of the people that donated pies were the ones that bought them. But it was fun. We had a lot of fun. We hope to do another fundraiser probably in May, just before Mother's Day, and we're going to call it Let Them Eat Cake. So there might be other costume opportunities there. So April 6th, we're doing a 7th Street cleanup. And let's see, yep, that's it.
All right, I have a couple of things. I am very excited and impressed that you guys gave a couple of the announcements for me. If you have any questions about anything going on, always feel free to contact us. We set all the dates for the events coming up between the policy amendments for the Historic Review Board, and the enhancement day for the Beaver Creek Road concept plan. There was a mention of that. There is an open house on Tuesday, April 9th, which is next Tuesday from 7 to 8:30 at the high school. And this is our second event where we get to present the results from the first event. So you look at sort of tentative zoning in the area and concepts for code implementation of the Beaver Creek Concept Plan, which is that area opposite the high school on Beaver Creek Road. Last thing before I go is I wanted to go through each of the neighborhood associations that are here and make sure that I have your dates right. Christina had sent an email just to make sure that you knew this was coming today. I see now that I should change this 2018 to 2019. But for Barclay Hills, do these look about right? January 9th, March 13th, May 8th, July 10th, September 11th, and November 13th?
Yep.
Yes, okay, so I'll change the 19 in a moment. And then the next one is Kanema. There is the list of dates there. So February 21st, April 18th, June 20th, September 19th, November 21st. Look right?
So look right, Linda?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have my phone.
And as always, if there are any changes, let us know because we do put them obviously on the end of this agenda, but then also on our website, we make sure that everyone can attend the meetings or are aware of those dates. The next one is Caulfield. Looks like we have the fourth Tuesday, January, March, May, September, and November.
Basically it.
Yeah, okay. We'll list those dates out for Caulfield, I'll make a note. Okay, and then going down the line, McLaughlin. There's the general meetings are January 3rd, May 2nd, July 10th, September 5th, and November 7th. Those look about right?
I'm not sure about July.
Okay,
That's probably right.
if you want to check that and let us
Do they still
know.
meet at the firehouse? Do you still meet at the firehouse?
Library.
Huh.
Says on the library.
Oh, it
The
says
location
library?
incorrect? Oh, this
this-
one was just that special one at the firehouse,
okay.
I think the March 7th one. We'll go through and change the
Yeah,
format on
that's
that one,
correct.
so it's a little clearer. Change
Right, we meet at the library.
format.
Yeah, well, I was seeing the firehouse.
Except for that one.
Okay, well, I'll clear that up, so nobody goes to the firehouse instead of the library. Tower Vista, oh, I skipped Park Place, I'll go to you. Here's Tower Vista, it just links it back to Hillendale.
Yeah, you swing back to Hillendale lists all of the individual timing.
Do you want us just to copy these over to yours? First Tuesday in January, April, July, and October. And then there's the dates. So we'll copy from Hillendale. And then Park Place. February 18th, May 20th, and October 21st. Does that look right? Oh, and then you have your steering committees
Yeah.
too.
August and September.
Not sure about the February meeting.
February, okay. If you want to get back to us on if that meeting was held.
So I think we don't hold it on a holiday.
Okay.
So I think it's the 25th this year.
25th.
But I wasn't in town. I don't know, you know, when the meeting was held.
Do you want to send a
You know,
follow?
that was really a mix-up, but I think also we have a meeting in June, right?
Yeah, so we got 3 meetings.
We only have 3 general and we do have a June meeting.
If you want to send an updated list to Christina. We'll update the website and then we'll also update the agenda for CIC as well.
Yeah, we have a June 17th meeting.
And we do, what was we alluded to earlier, we print all these dates on this handout that we give out at all these public events. So we'll make sure to update the handout. And then, as always, if you have any minutes or anything you want to attach to the agenda, we can, to the website, we can do that as well.
Hey, Laura. So one thing I would comment back on Park Place is your location is very difficult to find. Google Maps puts that address up.
At the fire station.
Yeah, up and around the corner. And I know when we had our special meeting, there was a group of about 8 of us that was following Google, and I was like, this is not the right location. And sure enough, Google, there's a sign there that even says that that's the address. And so I was wondering if that was something that maybe the city could provide a little map with a star on the building or something that would be really helpful. I've gone and tried to find your meeting a couple times, and every time I look it up and Google sends me to the wrong spot. So I blame Google, but I'm just saying, I don't think I can fix Google, but I don't know, it was just something that, like some of the churches I've had no problems finding, for the other meeting locations. But that one was particularly challenging, and the fact that there were like 10 other people all standing at the door waiting on the door to be open knows that it wasn't just me. So if we have interest, just something.
Yeah, we can attach a map. That's okay.
Yeah, we don't control the
We don't control
The
Google,
mail.
but yeah.
mailing address of the
Yeah.
building, but that's what they've told us that building address is.
All the buildings in there are 200 numbers, so, they all have the same number. It used to be a red building, so we used to say the red community building, but then they repainted it.
Yeah. And it was, it was dark. It was, it was dark. I'm just providing feedback from a public person of wanting to attend and trying to find. And it was not that the address is wrong or anything like that. It was just hard for us there was a group of us, it was hard to find the right building. So.
Yes, we did know that was an issue.
Yeah.
But I really forgot that we should let people know where it really is.
Yeah, and I think when it came up that evening, someone at the meeting said, yeah, it's best if you turn in because it's on a loop. The road is a loop, and they were like, it's best if you turn in the first entrance, and had all this information. And I was just thinking that may be something worthwhile, or if the city can help in any way, provide a little snapshot of here's the location, street with the star on the building or something that would be something that would be helpful that we could provide. Sure, hopefully.
Great.
So Laura, the July 10th is correct,
July 10th is
because the 4th is not available.
okay. Perfect. And then the last thing is because Bob had mentioned the code amendments. The code amendments for a variety of changes are before the city commission right now. The next meeting is on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, and then also the 17th, we'll get direction on a couple of issues, and then we expect to come back with a final draft version of the code amendments, and then ask for adoption at some point. So if you have any questions, please let me know. If not, I welcome your feedback.
All right, so I think you guys have covered a lot of the upcoming events, but really quickly, the April 2nd, which is tomorrow night, the Historic Review Board policy updates is from 4 to 6 at City Hall. This Thursday, after probably what is going to be a very long City Commission meeting on Wednesday night, on Thursday, April 4th, there's 5:30 to 6:30 is the meet and greet of the Economic Development Manager candidates, the 2 that are left. They'll be answering questions. So if you have an interest in economic development in the city, you may be interested in that on Thursday. That's at City Hall here. April 6th, Laura mentioned it already, the Oregon City Enhancement Day at the end of the Oregon Trail. Interpretive Center, and that is from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then she also mentioned the Beaver Creek Road Concept Plan, April 9th. That's from 7 to 8:30. I will say, if you are not planning to attend the Beaver Creek Road Concept Plan event on the 9th, the City Commission work session is scheduled to get an update on the Willamette Falls Legacy Project. So if you have an interest in that and want to hear the update that the commission is going to get, the City Commission is going to receive, that is April 9th. And I don't know the time offhand, I'd have to look at that, but it's online. A couple of miscellaneous items that don't have dates to them. As you all, some of you may know, or probably most of you know, Denise McGriff is our new city commissioner that we just made our decision on to fill the vacancy left by Nancy Ide, who resigned her position in January. So we're happy to have a full commission back in time for lots of good decision making. For just general notes, I will be missing the May meeting because I'm actually going out of town on vacation, and I'll work to try to find someone to either sit in, or it's possible there may not be anybody here, but maybe somebody can fill in. Tony can fill in. But I will not be here next month, just to let you know. I will be in Florida or Georgia. Just some general stuff. If you've seen construction at the corner of Warner Milne and Malala Avenue, maybe you didn't know what was going there. That's a new urgent care center that's being built. I think that's a really good add to our neighborhood. It's right by KFC, Walgreens, across the street from Walgreens, across from Warner Milne.
Isn't there a medical facility going in someplace up in that general area?
And that's it.
That's it. It's an urgent care.
Urgent care, yeah.
That's it. So I know, Tony, you attended the breaking ground ceremony. So I think that's a good asset to have in our community. Biennial budget prep is underway. So budget meetings, if that is your thing and you are interested in the city budget and the goals and priorities, that's coming up in late April, early May. So look for those meeting dates. Tony probably has those. And just a couple of notes about our community services department. They conducted a park tour for our new PRAC members. So I think that was probably really good to note. They're also meeting with ODOT on a pretty consistent basis regarding the I-205 widening project. And then all of the park restrooms have been de-winterized and are open for the season. So if you have parks in your areas, restrooms should be open. So just kind of some things that are happening in March of different department things that have been going on. And I think Tony has dates on maybe the budget stuff.
Yeah, sure, thanks. So the Oregon City Budget Committee will be meeting Monday, May 6th, which is the night of your CIC meeting. It'll be starting at 5:30 at the Pioneer Community Center. And then the next Monday, May 13th, the Oregon City Urban Renewal Commission Budget Committee will be taking place at 5:30 at the Pioneer Center as well. And earlier in the year, the commission had their goals retreat, so met over a Friday and a Saturday. So we are in the process of writing our 2-year budget. So we're on a 2-year budget cycle. The current budget will end on June 30th of this year, and a new one will start the next day, the next day. So the budget, through that process of the goal setting, really helps us identify what the goals of the commission are going to be for the next 2 years. So that'll be in front of the commission this Wednesday to review and potentially adopt the goals for the new 2-year budget cycle. We've also, Commissioner Lyle Smith talked a little bit about working quite a bit with Oregon Department of Transportation on the I-205 widening project. So many of you are aware you're looking at additional lanes, both northbound, southbound on 205 from Abernethy Bridge to Stafford. And so a lot of work is going into the expansion of the bridge how that will occur, the timing of it. So as they're getting more and more information, they are providing updates regularly to staff, and we're bringing them in front of the commission to talk about staging of lane closures, expressway closures, rerouting of traffic. So it's going to be a pretty big impact, obviously, for Oregon City as well as commuters in and out and down I-205. So as more information becomes available and becomes more clear and solidified, we'll expect to continue to see more updates on that project. The other two projects that are more city-driven currently is the Myers Road extension from High School Lane to Highway 213. So we're in the process of finalizing those construction drawings. So that'll be one of the larger, and it's been a long time since we've built a new road rather than just a replacement or expansion of an existing. So that's a big project. So we'll hopefully get that one started this summer, and then still in the design phase for Malala Avenue from Beaver Creek to 213. So more to come on those as they continue through the process. So those are the updates that I have. Be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. So does anyone else have anything to add, say? Then we will call this meeting adjourned.